To be honest, boxing's never seen nothing like this in the history of boxing. Since it began 250 years ago, it's never seen anything like this. I believe this is going to be great for boxing. I believe we're going to win.
He's going to have, after the fight is over, then so be it. I'm already in a no-win situation anyway. To me, it's a win-win. But I'm in a no-win because if I knock him out fast in the first round, they're going to be like, oh, man, this wasn't worth it. If I let it go a few rounds and drag it out, they're going to be like, oh, man.
I've always been in the gym training. I'm boxing professional fighters. Activity is great. I had 15 fights in 1 year when I was younger, and I think activity is great, but I'm prepared. I'm just ready.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson come face-to-face in a charged confrontation, trading sharp words as the atmosphere quickly grows tense. The intensity between the two legends is undeniable, with pride and history fueling every glance and every sentence.
Bring that shit up no more.
No, they should bring it up. Okay. They should see the difference from there to now.
Gotcha.
Me at my worst, to me at the biggest event in the history of events right now. There's never been any bigger than this. So what they have to say about that?
What does that say about you if you lose?
Well, I'm not gonna lose. So I can't even fathom losing. I can't even imagine it. I think he thinks this is gonna be a very easy night. It's not gonna be an easy night.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. stays composed during the intense face-off, carrying himself with trademark confidence. Calm but focused, he looks ready to show that his skill, sharpness, and competitive fire are still very much alive.
On cruise control, go out there, have some fun, and do what I do best. And that's
Mike Tyson insists he's more than ready for the challenge ahead. He says he's pushing himself harder than ever in camp, sharpening his skills and rebuilding his edge. Focused and confident, he believes he'll rise to the moment when it matters most.
He's waiting for his money. By the time he gets his money, everybody else took their percentage out already. So you don't know who's who. You get what they give you.
You look good. How you feeling physically?
Incredible.
You've been training?
Listen, I was wearing an extra large. It looks like I'm
Rafael Cordero, Mike Tyson's trainer, believes Tyson is in even better condition now than he was for his bout with Roy Jones. According to him, Mike looks sharper, stronger, and more focused in camp, showing noticeable improvements compared to that previous exhibition.
I'm in a perfect place now. Where's Mike? Put everything together. So mentally, physically, we're excited, man. Excited. If the fight was next Saturday, you will be ready for it. We talk about Roy was 4 years ago. Today, Mike is much better than he was when he fought.
In camp, Mike Tyson looks dialed in and razor sharp. He's sparring with serious intensity, testing his power, and pushing his limits in every round. The preparation is demanding, focused, and deliberate as he gears up for the challenge ahead.
We'll put it aside. Okay. Calm, be right.
Good. Round one. Oh. Phew. Cut the ring. Exactly. Cut the ring.
Jeff Mayweather believes Floyd Mayweather Jr. has never shied away from embracing the villain persona. In his view, a matchup with Mike Tyson would test Floyd's legacy in a unique way, while still giving him the stage to display his trademark confidence and elite skill set.
Easy, because Floyd always was the bad guy. Once again, he's gonna be the bad guy. And I think that if there's any way to try to remove his O, it may happen.
Tony Jeff recently suggested that Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s comeback is fueled largely by ego. He argues that Floyd struggles with being overshadowed, particularly after the attention surrounding Tyson's fight with Jake Paul, and this drives his desire to reclaim the spotlight.
Make as much money as we can while we can, and then get out of the sport. But with these two, they're multi-millionaires. And I want to get into the tail of the tape and talk about exactly the records and all of that stuff with it. But first, I just want to say, like, I believe that these are doing this for different things. Mike Tyson is doing it purely for the money. Purely for the money. Floyd is doing it for the money as well, but also, I believe Floyd's doing it for that limelight. You've seen the numbers that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul got, and I think this is the most viewed fight of all time, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. I might be wrong in saying that, but I'm sure it was. It was hosted on Netflix, and Floyd's been one in the past with his ego that he wants to just, be in that limelight all the time. And when you're not in the limelight all the time, you want to have...
In training camp, Floyd Mayweather Jr. moves with impressive sharpness and agility, looking almost younger than his age. His speed, precision, and technical mastery, hallmarks of his prime, are still on full display, proving he hasn't lost a step.
Right hand hook. Again. Hook right hand. Slide and drop. Punch it, wait till help it go. Drop, drop. Walk it, walk it, walk it. Pitch it. Pitch it. 6. Pitch it. Pitch it. Watch it. I step back like I have my distance. That's why I step. See, I have my distance. Fighters don't know their distance. You gotta know your...
Floyd Mayweather Jr. attacks the heavy bags with sharp precision and explosive power. Every strike demonstrates his speed, flawless technique, and unyielding focus in the gym. Analyst Henry has raised concerns about the direction boxing is taking as legends return for exhibition bouts. He points out that Manny Pacquiao is scheduled to face Rosalind Pavnikov, while Floyd Mayweather Jr. is being linked with Mike Tyson. To Henry, these matchups seem motivated more by financial opportunity than sporting necessity. He describes the trend as unusual and somewhat uncomfortable, particularly when older fighters are brought back for another run. The scrutiny around Tyson is even sharper following his recent high-profile return against Jake Paul, which already sparked widespread debate.
Mike Tyson of all people, that's the most money-motivated thing I've ever heard. It's utterly bizarre. And I don't want to see Mike Tyson anywhere near the ring again, especially after that Jake Paul fiasco. This whole thing's incredibly weird. I don't like it. I'm a proper boxing fan, and these fights to me, this OAP stuff they've got going on when they bring back these old fighters for one more go at each other, it's just not something that I particularly enjoy. Now look, it's going to be on Netflix. It's probably going to be a massive event. I'm probably going to end up covering it because they are two former champions of note, and it is going to go on their professional records. But if you thought the first fight wasn't particularly entertaining, I can't imagine this one's going to be much better. The one thing I will say is that I believe Pacquiao's in better condition than I realized after the effort he put in.
At the same time, Henry acknowledges that the event scale will be massive, especially with a platform like Netflix behind it. Despite criticism, curiosity is high. He points out that the real story might be the question of decline. Who has lost more sharpness? Mayweather has been inactive for years, while Pacquiao has endured far more fights throughout his career. That uncertainty, Henry notes, adds a layer of intrigue even for purists who aren't fans of the concept of exhibition bouts.
Not had a proper fight in such a long time, which you could argue means he won't be as sharp in the ring. But then on the other hand, Pacquiao's had way more fights than Mayweather has, so you could argue he's got less left in the tank. It's difficult to figure out what it means for either guy, and we don't really know which way it's going to go. But I guess if I'm being really honest, as much as I don't love it, there's always going to be a little bit of intrigue there. Kind of don't like myself for it, but I'm just being honest with you guys. And I think if we want to have a real conversation about what this fight represents is a continued frustration around the truth about the first fight, which was that it came too late and it turned into more and more of a cash grab. This fight embodies that to a whole new level. Even for the broadcaster Netflix, I don't believe they're truly invested in the sport of boxing. They'll take one-off big events that get them more subscribers, that increase their revenue, that increase their subscription base, but they don't really care about the sport. If they did, they'd be putting on a lot more events than just these mega fights that involve, influencers and fighters that are well.
Adola has raised serious questions about the rumored clash between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson in Congo. He wonders whether the fight is truly happening or quietly losing momentum. The unusually early announcement, revealed in February for a September event, caught him off guard. The long gap stands out compared to the typical 3 or 4 month promotional cycle, suggesting either a highly ambitious global buildup or underlying uncertainty behind the scenes. Adola also examines Netflix's approach, noting its strategy of producing spectacle-driven matchups that generate maximum buzz and attention.
Talk about Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in the Congo. Is that now scrapped? Why are they announcing this several months before the event? I mean, is it a massive build-up? I mean, when you think about it, most fights are announced 3 months, 4 before an event. This one, September. We are in February, people. Like, what is going on? I mean, what are Netflix doing? Netflix are kind of, obviously, they're picking up and putting on really random stuff. Like Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. If you are an MMA fan, that fight was supposed to happen way more than a decade ago. Way more than a decade ago. They're doing it now. Will it get big numbers? I guess it kind of will. They've obviously done the Jake Paul stuff. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul versus AJ. They done massive numbers. Crawford Canelo, a serious fight. And then
from crossover events to the massive audiences generated by Jake Paul, the platform is clearly focused on broad appeal. Aid admits the formula probably works, even if it seems unpredictable at times. Despite his skepticism, he's a genuine admirer of Floyd Mayweather Jr. His love for boxing has evolved, from watching Mike Tyson's dominance to following British icons, and then returning to the US scene thanks to Floyd's brilliance. Aid sees Mayweather as a rare figure who mastered both marketing and in-ring intelligence, much like Conor McGregor did in his own arena.
Massive, massive Floyd fan. Like, my journey into boxing, obviously when I was young, it was very much Mike Tyson, but then it went and became a UK thing. The ITV days of, I don't know, Ben Eubank, etc., Michael Watson, and then eventually Joe Calzaghe, Prince Nassim, etc., etc. My reason for going back and watching American boxing is solely down to Floyd. Like, I was obsessed with everything Floyd Mayweather did. I thought he was a genius when it comes to marketing and a genius in the ring. Like, it's very rare that the two go together, which is why I think everyone kind of fell in love with Conor McGregor, right? Because Conor McGregor was a genius outside the ring in terms of how to sell a fight. And in the octagon, he actually proved that he can fight as well. Floyd, obviously on a completely different level, but you know what I mean? Very similar. Someone that talks the talk and walks the walk. And Floyd most...
Wade Plemons shares his candid thoughts on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s return to the ring, highlighting the delicate balance between legacy and financial gain. He explains that watching a boxer of Floyd's stature step back into the spotlight at this stage can feel underwhelming for fans, as it suggests the move is motivated more by profit than a true love of the sport. For longtime followers, there's a certain discomfort in seeing a legendary career potentially overshadowed by financial pursuits rather than athletic achievement.
Whether had financial troubles because of the money he owed to the IRS, because of the terrible, terrible business and real estate investments that he's made, and apparently some of these have gone under, and he is owed back rent, or he is owing back rent, and he is delinquent on a lot of payments for a lot of different things right now. These things seem to have added up for Floyd, and now it's pretty apparent that not only is he doing these, bank robbery style exhibitions, but it looks like he absolutely needs to do it, which is very, very sad. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Floyd Mayweather as an individual outside of the ring, but I never want to see athletes have their money mismanaged or mismanage their own money so badly that they go broke in retirement, and it looks like that's kind of what's happening. And here's a snippet from Business Insider because it made me want to pay for the...
Despite media speculation about Floyd Mayweather Jr. S. finances, Wade Plemons firmly denies any claims that the fighter is in trouble, emphasizing that Floyd is not struggling to meet his obligations. Headlines suggesting massive debt, he says, are misleading and exaggerated. At the same time, Plemons openly acknowledges that the event is undeniably lucrative and that financial incentive plays a major role in making it happen. While some may see this as purely commercial or disappointing, he frames it as a calculated decision, one that balances Floyd's competitive drive with real-world opportunities. In his view, it's both a spectacle for fans and a demonstration of Mayweather's careful management of his career and brand.
He denies he's any kind of financial distress, but the headlines aren't slowing it down. $54 million alleged dollars in debt. So it makes sense why they would want to do this, and it's strictly for money, let's be honest. This is a clear money grab, but this is going to be a terrible fight. This is not going to be a fight that anyone outside of watching Mike Tyson walk to the ring and the idea that maybe he'll knock out the little guy in Floyd that Tyson for a long time didn't like. You know, for a long time called Floyd a small little angry man or a small little scared man because he couldn't walk his kids to school by himself, mainly because Floyd had, he kind of disrespected Muhammad Ali, who was Mike Tyson's favorite fighter and one that he would never put himself above. But Mike's 60 years old. And if there was a time for Mike to get him and knock him out or whatever, it never would have happened because they were in completely different weight classes and XYZ. If you wanted to settle it outside of boxing, that's one thing, but now they're stepping into this exhibition. There's not going to be any weight classes.
Ariel Helwani recently shared a strong perspective on the upcoming bout between two boxing legends, sparking discussion among fans. He believes the fight is largely unnecessary, questioning the value of bringing fighters back at such an advanced stage in their careers. For Helwani, the matchup feels more like a spectacle than a meaningful sporting contest. Both competitors are well past their prime, no longer at peak physical ability, and the risks involved may outweigh any entertainment or financial benefits. He emphasizes that the health and safety of the fighters should always come first. Helwani's comments highlight a broader debate in boxing about the return of former champions, especially when such events seem driven more by publicity or profit than true athletic competition. While fans may be excited to see familiar names in the ring, he urges caution, noting that age inevitably affects speed, reflexes, and endurance. In his view, the fight could be unnecessary and may even risk undermining the legacies of both fighters rather than celebrating them.
Economic times, there's economic challenges. These corporations and companies, they're looking to make profit. And if they put out a pay-per-view and a lot of people, another thing is the fighters. I'm blaming the fighters too, because there's a lot of guys, they're not bigger than the fighters of yesteryear. That's why you can have a Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, whose brands are so big. This is going to be a big fight. It's going to be, just because it's a freak show, circus fight, whatever you want to say. Some people are going to be mad at it. I don't want to see it, blah, blah, blah. But the curiosity is always going to get the best of the masses, especially if they put this on Netflix or Amazon or whoever, right? And that's the reality. A lot of these new fighters, Gen Z fighters, people under 30, they're not marked.
Johnny Nelson recently shared his insights on the highly anticipated meeting between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr., highlighting details that fans might sometimes overlook. He pointed out that, despite his age, Mayweather still moves with remarkable speed, precision, and power, surprising even experienced observers. In training, Mayweather demonstrates a youthful sharpness in his technique, hitting the bags with intensity and focus that reflect years of disciplined preparation. Nelson also emphasized the human side of boxing legends. Decisions to return to the ring are often driven by more than pride or competition. Financial responsibilities, family considerations, and the desire to stay relevant in the sport all factor in. While some fans worry about legacy, Nelson reminds viewers that these fighters remain highly skilled athletes, blending experience, natural talent, and strategic preparation to perform at an elite level.
Going up against Floyd Mayweather, this guy was unbeaten as a fighter. He still physically has ring craft. He still physically can move about the ring and do what he has to do. I think for Mike Tyson, he's going to be very frustrated. He will want to lay a shot on him to get rid of him, but unfortunately, you slow down. Father Time gets the better of us all, and even though I think When it comes to a fan's favourite, I'm quite sure most of the fans would love to see Mike Tyson put Floyd in his place. And that's probably what will be the attraction as well. But you've got to remember, Mike Tyson's 59 years old. You've got to remember, Floyd Mayweather is still hitting the bag in the gym. He's still moving around, even though he's 48 years old. But you've got to remember, these guys are individuals. They're fathers, they're brothers, or whatever. And they still want to earn a massive chunk of money. Where's Mike Tyson? Whatever they're getting paid. Where's Mike Tyson at 59 going to earn this kind of money? Where's Floyd Mayweather at this time of life going to make this kind of money? It doesn't matter what we say about legacy. These guys are still going to live. These guys are still thinking, you know what, I'll take the heat, I'll take the criticism, but you know what, my bank account's all right, my family's all right. And I know it's crude, and I know it takes the shine off it, but that's real talk. So these guys are now in a position where where people want to pay them a lot of money to fight each other. It's against somebody they don't like. So again, ego's going to get the better of common sense. With Mike, as far
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next.